Traffic Edge.
Chris, thank you. Texas Congressman Michael McCaul remains in Europe. He is visiting troops there today, but he was on more of a mission, too, when he went over to the Middle East, which included a stop in Pakistan. And he is joining us live on the phone now to talk about that trip and a few other things. Congressman, always good to talk to you.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Good morning.
Let's start with current events and work our way back to your trip in Pakistan. First of all, the president says he will honor the status of forces agreement and pull troops out of Iraq by the end of the year. Good or bad move, in your opinion?
Well, there is a concern with the troops. I was in Iraq. They're concerned about, are the Iraqis ready at this point? But, we can't be there forever. And I think it's at some point, the Iraqis have to stand up on their own, as will the Afghans in 2014. So it is in line with President Bush's status of forces agreement. They had wanted to extend it, but the Iraqis were not willing to provide immunity for our troops over there, and so that was the real issue. Having said that, we're going to have a civilian population. The CIA is still going to be there, and several troops will be there under the State Department's authority. And so I think the real concern they have is Iran. What is Iran going to do? And, is Iran going to try to infiltrate Iraq? But I think the general feeling, we met with the top generals there, is that this is you got to take the training wheels off and let them run their own country.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up Iran, too, because now with the threat that they have, the technical capability now to produce a warhead, what's the likelihood we're going to have to rein in the Israelis?
Well, it's the IAEA came out with that report, and that's a very independent agency. So I trust that that's very accurate, that reporting. And Iran continues to be the threat in the region. Pakistan has a lot of problems as well, but we're just going to have to keep our eye on Iran. They are no doubt going to try to influence Iraq's politics and try to make a power play to fill the vacuum, and that's something we got to keep a close eye on.
True. And back to Pakistan. You met with the Pakistani president. He said he was fully well capable of reining in the Haqqani sect there and maybe stop some of the terrorist movement. You're a little skeptical of that.
Well, look, we were in Afghanistan. The Haqqani network is there. They're killing our soldiers. These are the terrorists that train in what's known as a tribal area, the frontier that we flew over. And I met with President Zardari and said, we need your help, to help eradicate them, as did Secretary Clinton went over and made the same request. So I was reinforcing, I think the message from the United States that he needs to work with us. And he says he's committed, but he just doesn't have a whole lot of control over his own military and his intelligence service. And they tend to sort of curry favor with the Haqqani network to protect them in other interests that they have, whether it be India or, depending on what happens in Afghanistan. So it's a very complicated deal over there. But we had overall, I think, a very good meeting. I warned him that, that Congress was not happy about the bin Laden situation, that, foreign aid was an issue. And his response was, I would like more trade rather than aid, was his response to me.
Okay. And before you come back, one domestic issue I want to ask you about, too. We're running out of time here. The super committee, closer to an agreement or not? The Republicans don't like the tax issue. The Dems say we can't get an agreement unless we have it. What do you think is going to happen with that super committee?
I don't have a crystal ball on that one. I will tell you that is the, they want to cut defense. We don't. They want to raise taxes. We don't. And a lot of it's going to come down to who's going to blink. I think if nothing is done, the consequences are so severe that that gives me some hope and optimism that they're going to come to an agreement with some sort of spending cut. And so anyway, I just wanted to end though by saying that I can't think of anything more appropriate for me on Veterans Day than to be with our troops and also see the wounded warriors that I just came back from the hospital in Germany and saw the wounded soldiers there and thanked them for their service. Many of them are from the state of Texas, the great state of Texas, and I'm just so proud of what they've done, and they're just very inspiring.
True. Amen. I will second that as well. Texas Congressman Michael McCaul, he is in Germany with the troops right now. Congressman, thank you. Always good to talk to you.
Hey, thank you, too. I appreciate it.
You bet. Coming up, live to University Park.